The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Teflon Pan Man. I'm the Teflon Pan Man. Ain't nothing gonna stick on me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. It is 8:02 Eastern Time. I'm coming to you live from New York City, New York. You're listening to All You Can Eat, the podcast about deliciousness. And I am your host, Rob Rosenthal, delighted to be with you here this evening. So glad for those of you who came back, and happy to have anyone who's new to the podcast. Now, when I talk about deliciousness, the first thing obviously that comes to mind is food. I am a food guy. I'm a guy that, I certainly eat plenty of it, but that's besides the point. I'm a guy that writes about food, in that I have written a cookbook, a Short Order Dad, One Guy's Guide to Making Food Fun and Hassle-Free. I also write articles about food. Every once in a while, it's to review a restaurant. More often, it's on the subject of a place that I have been. I call it culinary tourism. You can call it whatever you want. It's about going away somewhere and taking advantage of the food. And part of that job entails being invited, frankly, by press and press people and tourism organizations who would like you to come and visit their restaurant, visit their hotel, visit their country, frankly. And I will say this, that when they invite journalists, when I am invited, the idea is that they want to show you their best thing, their best stuff, their best food, their best experiences, hotels, etc., etc. A long way around the story that I have just returned from Mexico 3 days ago, Sunday. I was there last week from Wednesday afternoon through Sunday morning. So I stayed Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 nights. I was invited and was a guest of a place called Punta Mita. Punta Mita. Now, when I first received the invitation, I have two reactions. One is that I've been there before, and I like it a lot. So my first feeling was, oh, that's nice, that's lovely, but I can't think of a time that I have been invited on one of these type of press experiences where I've ever repeated it, or I've ever gone a second time, except for Punta Mita, to be honest with you. And so I accepted the invitation, and I went back. And I went back because I really like it. I am a fan, not just of Punta Mita, I'll get to that, but of that part of Mexico, which is the state of Nayarit, N-A-Y-A-R-I-T. Mexico, for those who don't know, has 31 states. One of them is called Nayarit, not a big one, and yet it takes up about 110 miles of the coast of the Pacific coast of Mexico, right around it's central Mexico, sitting right on the Pacific Ocean for about 110 miles, I would say. And it's glorious. Having been there, having explored the state, I can tell you, man, there's a lot to like about that part of Mexico. And because it's up and down a shoreline, one of the things that you get to like are great beaches, a variety of them. The little towns that are connected to those beaches, There's a ton of farming in this part of the world. So as you would drive the state of Nayarit, you would see farms. There's fruit being grown. There's vegetables being grown. I've seen tobacco being grown. So it's a very rich agricultural area. And needless to say, with 110 miles of Pacific coastline, it's rich in fish. Right? So when you have a part of the world, Mexico in this case, that is equally as rich and bountiful on the growing, on the agriculture, on the fruits and the vegetables and all of that, juxtaposed against the ocean. I'll tell you what, man, the eating situation is just beautiful. I mean, this is delicious. Okay. When we talk about deliciousness on the podcast, we do tend to think of food, but delicious can be used in other contexts, That kid over there with the laughter, you hear that laughter? That's delicious. So we can use it to describe a person. That experience that I had in the sun on the beach, man, the sun was delicious, right? So it's not just the food, it's the totality in this case. Anyway, back in the state of Nayarit, is great food up and down the coast, and I think I may come back later. I mean, I'm thinking about there are little kind of towns and villages, pueblita, like a little pueblo, like a little town along up and down the way. You might find a place in Nayarit, in the state of Nayarit, called Sayulita. Not you might, but you will find a place called Sayulita. You might be familiar with Sayulita, kind of a funky, bohemian kind of village on the ocean, right? A town that's kind of buzzing, right? Both with there's the art gallery, there's the local street food you could grab. There's the beach, in this case, loaded with surfers. Like if I were going with teenage kids, I would go, yeah, let's go take a side trip to Sayulita, right? Because that's fun. I'm going to come back to some of the other little places that you can see along the way, but one of the, certainly the most kind of luxurious, I'm not going to be around the bush, man. This is high-end stuff I'm going to tell you about. Punta Mita, is luxury, right? It's developed, by the kind of people whose vision was to create, luxury. So it's about, what did I say? How many? 1,500 acres, sitting on a peninsula, no less, in the state of Nayarit, right? So it's fabulous. It's fabulous. It's gorgeous. It's gated, right? So it has privacy, but when you're at 1,500 acres, there's a lot of room to move. In fact, the grounds are composed of, at this point, a couple of hotels, high-end hotels, right? 5-star. This is the real deal. St. Regis is one. Four Seasons is one. That's where I stayed. And then you have also on the property, homes, I guess, homes, units, condos, so there are definitely people that will, live there at least part of the year. And I should also mention, although I don't play the sport myself, Punta Mita includes 2 Jack Nicklaus designed golf courses. So for people, who love golf, you ain't going to get hurt here, man. They got 2 courses for you, and they're pretty serious looking, right? And when I say, it's funny when I say, for people who like golf, that's the first decision. That's the first filter. That's the first cut at this thing, right? It's time for vacation. In fact, we're coming up on the middle of March here. People have already made their plans for now, right? A lot of people, doing the spring break, the Easter, whatever it's going to be. This is a vacation period, I would say. And so when you're thinking about a vacation, what are you saying to yourself? What am I gonna, what do I do here? What do I do? Do I go on? I mean, we all have the stuff that we love, right? Some people want to go on an active vacation. I've done it, right? Whether it's going to be skiing in the winter or hiking in the summer or biking any time of year. I understand that kind of vacation. It's great, right? And then other people want to go on a vacation that's just loaded with culture, right? Paris, I want to go to a museum. I want to go to a gallery. I want to sit on the street and have a glass of Beaujolais and a Gitane cigarette. Yeah, I just want to soak up culture. I get it. Beautiful vacation. And then you have the vacation where you go, you know what? I'm stressed out. I'm working. I'm putting in the time. All right, not only do I need a vacation, I deserve a vacation. But here's the thing. I want to go brain dead. I want to go sit somewhere. I don't care if it's a pool, maybe it's an ocean, maybe it's the mountains. I don't know. Everybody's got their chill locale, right? So if your conception of the ideal vacation is I want to go beach, I want to go sun, I want a place where I can jump into the ocean, sit in the sand, sit by a pool, this is one of those type of places. But here's the beauty of it. There's a lot going on that 1,500 acres, right? Because maybe one of you in a couple, for example, wants to sit by the pool with a margarita, a book, headphones. Think about maybe later in the day you pop over to the spa, grab a massage, you got that going, right? Maybe somebody else in the group, in the family, wants to play a round of golf. That's available. So there's a lot of outplay here. I'm going to tell you as we get into this, some of the things I did in my, I was there for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 full days, right? I'm really there on balance for 3 full days. I'm going to tell you what I did because it was fantastic. I mean, it was just great, right? Yeah, so you're at 1,500 acres here in Punta Mita, situated on a peninsula. And by the way, so here's what I didn't tell you. The average temperature in this part of the world, the average temperature is 77 degrees. I looked at my phone where I keep the app, the weather app, to whatever city I'm in, and it didn't change. Every day that I looked, it was always the same. It was somewhere between like 77, basically. It was 75. I mean, I saw 80. I don't know what. Sunny. There wasn't a cloud. I didn't see a cloud. And it was 77 and sunny for every minute that I was there. So there was that. Now, then the question is, well, all right, here's what you need to know. You need to know how to get there, right? Because what you're gonna end up doing is flying into the airport in Puerto Vallarta. And when you fly into that airport, you hop into a cab or a car or whatever it is that drives you, and you got, a trip that's, 40 minutes, call it 45 minutes to the resort, to Punta Mita. So a lot of people, because it's a Pacific coast of Mexico, I would say the preponderance of guests are coming in from not only the coastal states, your Californias and, up and down the west coast of our country, but most of the people are coming, in fact, from, west of the Mississippi. Chicago, you can get a direct flight into Puerto Vallarta, probably going to cost you about $450. And I don't know what that is. What is it like? Probably three and a half hours. A lot of people flying in from Dallas. So I'm coming in from the East Coast, right? So I fly there last Wednesday from New York City, New York. So I'm at JFK. I take an 8 a.m. flight. So you got to commit basically. If you're on the East Coast and you want to go to Punta Mita, you're committing to having to spend a day traveling. But even that 8 o'clock in the morning flight through Dallas gets me to Punta Mita in time for happy hour. So 8 o'clock in the morning, you have a cup of coffee, maybe take a little nappy on the plane. You're at Dallas airport for a couple of hours, duty free, I don't know. Hop on your plane. It's a short thing from there. What is it? A couple hours from there? 2 hours, 220 Puerto Vallarta. And once you get to Puerto Vallarta, I got to be honest with you, and you clear the customs, people are drinking tequila. I mean, it's like booths set up to essentially, I guess, sell tequila to the tourists coming in off the plane. Now, you and I can skip that, my friends, because we're going to go somewhere else and drink our tequila. We don't have to load up at the airport, personally. So 4 o'clock, when you walk into your hotel, the Four Seasons in my case, Punta Mita, the first thing they do is welcome you with a drink. Here's a cold towel, in case you want that, cold washcloth. And here's this fresh squeezed juice. You can have it with or without tequila. Well, I'm not hesitating. In fact, I'm thinking I don't even need the juice. I'd be happy just having the tequila. But you know what? Let's pace ourselves, my friends. Drop some of the tequila into the glass there at the lobby area, and I'm looking out onto the Pacific Ocean at 4 p.m. local time. So the sun is off there in the distance. You're sensing the warmth. It's light, but delicious breeze coming in, and yeah, it's 4 o'clock, and I'm having that first sip of Mexico, my friends. That first sip of Mexico. So, yeah, there's going to be more West Coasters, but for me, I'm telling you, from the East Coast, it's worth the trip. Beautiful weather, easy to get there, blah, 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 right? Now, I mentioned before, I'm going to take you back now to the state of Nayarit that I have visited. And I'm going to take you from the high-end, upscale luxury of the, it's funny, sometimes I hear noises. Oh, I see what's happening. Right, okay, fine. I am so sorry for that. I can't get through any podcast in history without some type of technical glitch or hiccup. That was the one. There was just a noise that came through. I don't know. Okay, anyway, so... Right, so I've stayed at both, by the way, in Punta Mita. I've stayed at the St. Regis. The accommodations were terrific over there as well. I mean, really a great room. I think, a lot of the rooms have, balconies and views. They're fantastic. This time, I spent my 4 nights over at the Four Seasons. I'm going to head back here in this discussion on the Four Seasons. The place is fabulous. And I'm talking here about the accommodations. One of the things about accommodations that's interesting is, like, if you have experience in travel, one of the things that you will notice is the comfort of the bed and the pillows. So anyway, accommodations here at this place, lovely. I'm looking out on a beautiful scene, comfortable bed, nice pillows, all the amenities that you need, the usual stuff, lovely views. Another thing that you get at the 5-star hotels, look, and you pay for it. I'm not gonna, I'm all about full disclosure. There's money involved in this thing. We'll get to that. But the staff at this place, fantastic. Everybody happy. Anything that they can do. Really, really nice job, folks. Really good job. Like, everybody goes out of their way. The facilities at this operation, outstanding. Professional gym, full service spa. Go in, get yourself a massage. There's a lot of pools on the property. I remember one, I remember a second. I'm sure that there are more. The most exciting thing, for me, and by the way, plenty of families there. Don't take what I'm going to say the wrong way. A lot of people come here with the family. And it was like again, vacation time. But the thing that was exciting to me was to find the adult only pool, right? Like, that's cool. That's really cool. Because if you want, some people want to sit where the action is, especially if there's other kids around. I totally get that. And then you got me. I like to be alone. Sometimes. So anyway, they got the adult pool. A lot of tennis going down there. I don't know how many courts. A lot of courts. Hartrue. I think they have a couple of pseudo grass court things. So, and a legit tennis program. I didn't play. I didn't even look. I'm just telling you that if one of the things you want to do on your vacation is you go, I love tennis. I want to get out there and play tennis. So go. It's a professional operation there. The golf is serious. I mean, Jack Nicklaus designed 2 courses. One of them has a hole. Again, I'm no golf guy or expert. One of them has a hole where you're teeing off to an island. I mean, literally, it's what they call, it's an island green. It may be the only natural island green in the world. I don't know, but it's an amazing concept that you are hitting a ball however many yards, I don't know, 180, 200 yards, and you're hitting it to essentially an island that is connected to the mainland where you hit by a, kind of a walking bridge. Beautiful out there. Beautiful. So if you like golf, man, you got that. And then what else is going on the thing? So I want to tell you what I did because I was busy the whole time. I mean, I had my time to chill. In fact, I had like an hour in between things on an afternoon. The thing I like about the afternoon, that 5:30 to kind of 6:30 zone, is the sun is not as intense as it was 3 hours before. And it's coming down over the Pacific, and you're looking at it, but it's 77 degrees with a slight breeze. It's perfection there, right? And at that point, by the way, not only is the beach uncrowded, I'm not sure that I see a lot of people on the beach, but what I see is, I see a hammock hung between 2 trees. I don't even need the margarita at this point because this little piece of heaven is the ultimate in terms of chill, relaxation, just swinging back and forth on a hammock. Yeah, I mean, like, that's great. I'm sure there were plenty of people at that point, by the way, doing, I don't think they call it happy hour there, but I mean, this is one of those things where, like, you could drink all day long if you want to, or you can wait until the magic hour, man, because then at like 7 or between 7 and 7:30, you get the sunsets. And you know what those are like. The thing about sunsets is, I'm not a kid. I'm old. The thing about sunsets is they never get old, right? I mean, like, when the sun is setting over the Pacific Ocean, whether or not you have a drink in your hand, you're going, oh, this is really good. And I happen to have found what we call the pro tip. I happen to have found a secret little place there at this Four Seasons to enjoy the sunset with a proper cocktail. I'm not going to reveal it right now. You'll have to read the article because I will write and publish an article that reflects very much what I'm telling you now. I'll just put in some more details into the article. What else did I like about this thing? There are things to do on campus. I call it on campus, right? Because you're in the community of Punta Mita. I went off. I'm going to tell you about that too. But even on the campus, I went one day to a tequila class, a tequila blending class. So there's a guy there, Enrique, the cultural concierge. This guy knows more about tequila than anybody that you've ever known or met. He sits down with a group of us. There are 4 glasses in front of you with 4 different types of tequila. One is going to be the silver, the clear one. One is going to be the reposado, which is the rested one. So it has slight amber color to it. The third one is going to be añejo, right? So that's a little bit darker. Why? Because it's been aged in a barrel for a longer period of time. And then finally, there's a darker one even still, which is an extra añejo. And so not only are you going to taste these, but you're lined up with, I think, 9 different food items so that you can have a little bit of a lemon peel, for example, a lime peel before you taste, a little dash of salt. There was a chocolate chip that we used before we tasted the extra añejo to understand and to see. This guy not only knew more, but imparted the tequila wisdom in a really compelling, interesting, informative. It never got to the point where you were like, okay, enough of that, let's start drinking this stuff. No, we sipped every little bit. And then, based on our kind of taste preferences, blended our own with some mixture in whatever proportion we chose of those aforementioned tequilas, and then you fill up a liter in your proportion, and they seal it and put your name on it. You have your own bottle, your own blend of tequila. So you learn, and it's fun, and that was great. What else can you do on campus here? You can go, well, this is kind of semi-on campus. There were so many activities. I can't even mention them all, but you could go snorkeling. You could take a cooking class. You can probably take a dancing class. But I'm big on so here's the thing. I'm big on, I like, I'm fine with like the laying on the hammock and the margarita. But at some point I need to get out. I need to see what's going on in the hood. Right? So, one of the things I did was I went fishing. You have some options, boy. I tell you, the hotel is connected. What's their name? Spearmex. The hotel is connected with a fishing operation that's first class, from what I could see. I spent 4 hours with a couple of guys. One's driving the boat, one is the guide, and I go fishing with one of the chefs here at one of the restaurants at Punta Mita. Right. We took a 4 hour. We're on a little boat, I don't know, 30 feet, but it's equipped. It's like just loaded for fishing. And the fishing out here is, let's put it this way. I'm not even a big fisherman. I've gone before, but I haven't gone like exciting fishing. I've gone that kind of fishing where, you're on a boat with like 40 people dropping a line somewhere. That's not really fishing. I mean, it is, but it isn't. This is like real fishing. You're out there. You're out there on the water. You got different kind of baits, different kind of methods. And I've never caught so many fish so big, so quickly in my lifetime. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Like the line was going in, and then we were pulling out bonito, they called them, these fish. Bonito, the size of, like, big. I mean, I mean, it'll feed at least one. I mean, there was some big old fish out there we were pulling in, and then we tried another method, another part, and I caught like I don't know, what do you even call this thing? It's like 2 feet long, though, with like a long, pointy, sorry, I'm not better on the names. And then he goes, oh, we're going to try for something else. I think he said it was like a coarse shell. I don't know, I don't know, I couldn't tell, I don't know enough about fishing. Here's what I know. By the time I was done reeling this thing in, I was sweating. Not from the 77 degrees in the middle of the ocean, because this thing fought me. It was 20 pounds of fish on the end of that line. And the reason the fishing part of this experience was so memorable is not only because we caught all the fish, but because we ate it. I mean, one of the guides on the boat, right before you get back home, stops the little boat, cuts up a fish, and makes a little platter of ceviche right there. Right? So you have the fish, sliced lime juice, slices up some little bit of pepper, right? It's going to be like a serrano generally, or jalapeno, whatever, a little bit. A little touch of salt. A little sprinkle of cilantro. Let me tell you something. It's perfect food. It's perfect. It's clean. It's elegant. It's sweet. It's everything good. And just delicious. We were eating the bonito right there. I think he might have thrown a couple of, maybe I'm wrong. I feel like I remember seeing capers. That's neither here nor there. We pull up, and then they clean for us. We threw back the 20-pounder. We threw back the long, pointy nose needle thing back. We took the bonito. I mean, a big old bag of bonito, filleted, ready to go. And the chef, executive chef of one of the restaurants here in Punta Mita, he takes it back into the kitchen, and he prepares it 5 different ways. 5 different ways he makes the fish, right? So the first one that comes out is it's cooked. I mean, it's cooked. No, it could be raw, but actually it's not. He cooked it just a little bit. He cured it. He didn't even turn on the heat. What he did was he cured it in water and ice and sea salt. So literally, It wasn't really cooked, but just by curing, just by giving it, however, 15, 20 minutes of ice water and sea salt, you're able to essentially change the composition, the color just a touch. But I mean, it's as good as being raw, except it's not totally 100% raw. It's served over guacamole. And so it's perfect, right? It's just great, right? Then he does a version of this bonito in which he makes a ceviche. He puts in the ceviche a little bits of sweet potato, a little bit of red onion, some coriander, and leche de tigre, tiger's milk, which is a combination of ginger and garlic and cilantro and some celery and some lime juice and even some of the juice from the fish. Anyway, it's lovely. Also, by the way, though, ceviche is not cooked, right? Not cooked. There's no heat involved in it, right? Then he makes what he calls a tiradito, which when you look at it, looks like just a gorgeous plate of sashimi. I mean gorgeous. Again, in this case, completely raw. This one he serves with bacon bits that are so small that they look almost like, what do they look like? They look like you were sprinkling bacon on, but like they were just tiny, but like Crispies, the bacon Crispies they were. Some chili flakes to give you just a touch of heat, a little bit of oil, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of sesame oil. Oh, you could just eat that all day, right? You know that you ever go. You know how it is when you go to the sushi sashimi place and you feel like, why am I stopping? I can continue to eat this. There's no rice involved here. This is a plate of tiradito. It is raw, bonito. It is rawly beautiful. And at this point, what you're saying to yourself is, why would anybody ever actually cook fish, right? Because it's so perfect this way. It tastes so good. It goes down so easily. It's just delicious, fabulous food. And that point is when they arrive at the table with a giant platter, half of which is filled with the grilled bonito. Simple grill, man. You know what I'm talking about? It's on the flat top grill. Boom, boom, both sides grilled. Simple, right? And on the other half of the platter is chicharron. Now, chicharron is generally is crispy little pork skins, like fried pork skin. Okay, that's a chicharron in the normal vernacular, Latin Hispanic vernacular. In this case, there was no skin involved. There was no pork involved. I'll tell you what was involved: fish. Not even the skin, though. He took the meat of the fish, and he combined it with flour, and he flattened it into a pancake, and he cut it into, he cut it into, like you go out for, what do they call those things in a restaurant? Chicken fingers? Like he cut it into, they were fish fingers. He cut it into those shapes, little cigar shape type things, deep fried. Oh, man, that's good. And I'll tell you, it comes out with all the different sauces, right? You know, they know how to do. They know how to do not only your salsa, not only your pico de gallo, but he comes out with a roasted garlic sauce. That's just beautiful. Then there's going to be something green, like something based on a tomatillo, so it's kind of like vibrant and a little bit spicy. There's always going to be like a red, like a chili thing. I mean, it's just, and wait, and as if that's not enough, come on. They're bringing out little warm, handmade tortillas, little flour tortillas, that you're going to take whatever your favorite thing here is. And I'm going to say, for me, it would have been the chicharron. You take a nice piece of that fried fish. Oh, that's right. He brought out some tartar sauce too, just in case, right? And then you put that on and whatever else was around the table. I don't know. And then you wrap it yourself. I mean, come on. It's unfair. That's how good that is. Chicharron, sauces, and you're eating that stuff, by the way, in the shade right now, because you don't want to be in the midday sun. And there it is. There's the ocean, and there's the sound of the ocean and the breeze. It's good, right? Now let's see what else happened here. I I should point out at this point, I interject this conversation with discussion of a margarita. It's funny. I was thinking about when it comes to kind of a vacation, and if you're a West Coast kind of person, if you don't go to Mexico, like a lot of people go to Hawaii. Now, Hawaii is a longer trip, and nobody's going to say anything bad about Hawaii. Hawaii is a stunning place. It's an unbelievably gorgeous, beautiful, unlike any other place. But so I'm just saying, competitively speaking, though, if you're on the West Coast, a lot of people do Hawaii. But if you like Mexican food, man, and if you like culture, right? Then whether it's Nayarit or Punta Mita, I'm thinking food, man, because like I said to you from the very beginning, they got it here. I had a margarita. Now, the traditional margarita, obviously, you're going to use some tequila, and most of the time you're going to use your. Oh, you know what? I'm running on time here. It's unbelievable. I have an interview that I should play with the general manager of the hotel. So, long story short, margarita historically is made with your silver 100% agave, but like a silver tequila, and you're going to use obviously lime juice, and there's going to be some element to sweeten it. Sometimes that element can just be what do you call the sugar there? It's not sugar. Agave syrup. You can do that, or oftentimes the orange liqueur, like the Cointreau, right? So those are the only ingredients to make. They offered up at this place a special martini. I believe they call it the Cora or the Corma. I don't know what it was, but instead of using the Cointreau, the orange liqueur, they made this one with Saint Germain. That's their version of kind of, it's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit floral, and it also, so they did that instead of using the Cointreau or the agave syrup. Obviously, there's going to be lime juice in the thing, and they put in a slice or so of jalapeno or serrano, so you just get that little bit of brilliant margarita. All right, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do like a little technical thing here. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to set it up because I had a lovely conversation. Oh, there we go. I love that. That's the noise we're looking for, baby. I had a lovely conversation with a guy named Carl Emberson. Carl is the boss, baby. Carl is the manager, the general manager of the entire Punta Mita operation. Here's my conversation from this past Thursday or Friday with Carl Emberson. Let's see. Carl Emberson, and I am fortunate to be sitting with him overlooking the Pacific Ocean in a place called Punta Mita, and it's a place that you are going to want to know more about if you don't already know. Hello, Carl.
Hi, Robin. Hi, everybody out there listening to this podcast. I probably be here with you, mate, and
all right, I'll tell you what. I can see right now I don't like the way that's sounding. Let me try again, because it's worth getting Carl on the line here if we can. Let me just try one more time, see if we can get a better sound system here. Okay, everybody. Here is Carl Emberson, and I am fortunate to be sitting with him overlooking the Pacific Ocean in a place called Punta Mita, and it's a place that you are going to want to know more about if you don't already know. Hello, Carl.
hi, Robin. Hi, everybody out there listening to this podcast by Rob. Lovely to be here with you, mate, and enjoying the view. I just saw a whale jump out there, so we're in a good moment to have a good chat here.
I love that, and I also will tell you that yesterday I saw dolphins here in this very same place. All right, so first off, Carl, let's introduce you to people. Tell everybody what it is that you do here in Punta Mita.
I'm Carl Emberson, the Director of Marketing and Operations for the Punta Mita Resort, which embraces the Four Seasons Punta Mita, the St. Regis Punta Mita, 1,500 acres of beautiful paradise, 2 great Jack Nicklaus golf courses, tennis academy, 4 beach clubs, about 380 homes, all on a beautiful peninsula that we call Punta Mita. So it's a great part of the world to be in. If anybody noticed my accent, I'm Australian. I was actually born and brought up in the Fiji Islands, and
Summary, thank you, sir. Obviously, you are a man. I like that. And here's the question for you, Carl. Tell people who don't know where Punta Mita is in the world.
Punta Mita, you fly into Puerto Vallarta Airport, which most people would know on the Pacific side of Mexico. It's about 2 hours from LA, 2 hours and a half from LA, probably about 4 or 5 hours from Newark, 2 hours from Houston. On the Pacific side of Mexico, and it's about a 40-minute drive north from the airport. One straight road into a beautiful, secure, gated community, which is Punta Mita on the Pacific Ocean.
This is not my first time here, and I'm a fan of this part of the world, of the entire state of Nayarit, which is one of the, 31 states of Mexico. But literally, this is kind of like the most elegant and exclusive part of the state of Nayarit. It's just great to be here. When you tell people about Punta Mita and why they should come here, what is it that you tell them about this? What makes kind of Punta Mita, and like Mexico has a series of very beautiful kind of resort areas around the country. What is it that makes Punta Mita unique and special?
Sure, Rob. Well, I've had the opportunity to live and work around Mexico for 12 years. I've worked in Playa del Carmen, Acapulco, No Cabos well. And actually, I fell in love with Punta Mita for a number of reasons. One, it's a gated, secure, and secluded community with all these beautiful hotels, this great climate, these wonderful golf courses, great restaurants. And there's a little town called Punta Mita, which is just outside the gates, where you can find a whole series of different restaurants, be it Mexican, sushi, Italian, French, all with a Mexican flavor. So you're in a private, secure, gated, luxurious community with a little bit for everybody. Whether you like tennis, you got tennis. Surfing, great surfing spot, by the way. Apart from eating, we need to do some exercise.
Yes, absolutely. Right, we sure do.
I love golf, so you got 2 great golf courses, and you've got the Four Seasons of the St. Regis, so it really is a destination that I've found it hard to find in any of the other places that I've been around Mexico, even around the world. It reminds me maybe of a few. I've seen a place like that in Hawaii, in Kauai maybe, but it really is amazing. Because of that, the beaches are private. There's nobody selling you things on the beaches. It's all very. There's nothing that really, maybe horses, but you can go for a horse ride if you want to go for a horse ride. Or you can go, I know you went fishing and you had to throw them all back. You were catching too much fish, so really it's magic because it's got everything for the savvy, for the person that likes to travel, likes to have, experiences that are unique, authentic. I think it's all there. Or you can just sit down and eat sun and drink margaritas, whatever you want.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, and I say that genuinely. I'm blatantly honest when it comes to these kind of things, and it's one of the few places that I've returned to more than one time because I agree with everything that you said. There's something here for everybody. The beaches are beautiful. The Pacific Ocean here is fabulous. I went fishing yesterday. I couldn't believe how many fish we brought in.
Yeah, I liked your story. Rob just told me the story there that he was out on this boat, which is a company called Spearmax, that they really know what they're doing here. He said, okay, first of all, we're going to do this type of fishing. We're going to catch this type of fish. Okay, we've got enough of those fish. Let's go and do another type of fishing, get another type of fish. And you happened to do it all, didn't you?
We did it all. And then what was nice about it was that we were able to come back with the fish and have the chef here prepare it. And he did an awesome job. He literally prepared that fish, which was a bonito, which is a good eating fish, and it's a good sized fish too. By the way, we had a bunch of them, and he prepared it 5 ways, and it was astronomically good. In fact, I literally posted last night on social media a picture of one of the fish that we caught and 3 of the dishes that he prepared. And so that was extraordinary. But I think it's also important to let people know that I am here in March. I don't even know what the day is, but it's probably like the 8th or 9th or 10th. And weather here every day, unless this is an aberration, is exactly the same. I mean, it's 75 and sunny. There's not a cloud in the sky. And when you look at the forecast, that's what it is for the foreseeable future.
Right. And it's funny, but it's true, Rob, what you say. The weather here between November and, say, the end of April, mid-May is just perfect. I I've lived in 10 countries and I haven't found it. And even I live here in summer as well, which is warm, but November till the end of it's just perfect. You might get a drizzle, but one drizzle in 5 months, I'll take that.
You take that, yeah. You actually crave that. Well, let's just segue over to a subject that you and I are both familiar with, and is very relevant to the podcast because it's as I tell people, all you can eat is the podcast about deliciousness. And so, yeah, you could come here and you could play golf on these two like lovely, beautiful Jack Nicklaus golf courses. You could come and hang by the pool. You can do the tennis. You can go fishing. There's something for everybody. I was in the gym this morning, by the way. I'm just throwing that in because it was not even for that. Just to say that it's like. It's a Four Seasons gym. It's great. And I've stayed over as well in a past trip over at St. Regis. I thought that was extraordinary as well, a super elegant hotel. But let's talk about what it is that we eat here. And whether it's tequila or the ceviche or the food. The food in this part of the world, and who doesn't love Mexican food, has been great. Let's just talk about food in general because it's my favorite subject.
I'm with you all the way. As you know, when I was chatting before, I have actually had 6 or 7 restaurants in Latin America. My background is food, and I love it. I lived in Mendoza, Malbec. I love Malbec. That's my favorite wine. But let's come back to Mexico. I think, as we're talking, you have a great food scene here. We just Dos Catrinas, which just opened at the Four Seasons, authentic Mexican, traditional Mexican cuisine. And I ate there the other night, and I'm in love with a couple of the dishes.
Yes.
And that happens.
What do you love? Let's get into this. So what do you love?
Like a carnitas de pato.
Right, which is like a duck, where they roast duck and then you kind of wrap your own.
Cook and like with a bit of a mole sauce with a bit of spice. And I like corn tortillas, so just... And that's a dish I fell in love with.
Right.
And Mexican food is a bit like that. When you go and have breakfast, they have their most amazing breakfast. You just go for chilaquiles because that's what you like.
I can't even believe that you brought it up because I would say, no, but my favorite breakfast perhaps in the world is chilaquiles. Tell everybody what chilaquiles is.
Chilaquiles is like fried tortillas with a red sauce or a green sauce, and you can make it a different way. A little bit of cream,
right?
And then with some onions, and then you can. I love it with 2 sunny side
eggs, sunny side eggs, right? Me too.
Dropped on the top,
right? I love that breakfast. I love that breakfast, and I'll tell you the truth. The reason I do is not only do I like eggs, but I would say that I have I confess to having an addiction for chips and salsa like a pico de gallo. In fact, if there were a 12-step recovery group, like hello, my name is Rob. Like that's what I'm. That's like I will eat those compulsively.
Yeah.
So chilaquiles for breakfast is great. I love even so here's a classic example. One of the restaurants here we ate at. Is known for grilling. It's grilling, right? And so I said to the chef, "What are you grilling today?" And of course, you grill whatever comes in fresh that day. So there was a red snapper, which I believe you call huachinango, right? Okay. Yeah. So they grill red snapper with a lovely little kind of I should have known precisely with a lovely kind of spice.
Yeah, they have a local sauce which is zarandeado, which is it's a mixture of. Like tomato, red peppers, chili, and a few other spices.
Right, maybe some oil, garlic, whatever, that kind of thing.
Garlic, and they lightly baste it.
Right, and they grill that fish, and that fish comes over, and I'm a big fan of anything that you can wrap. Right.
Yeah, I'm with
so
you.
they come over to the table with that fish and a couple of different sauces, and then these warm handmade tortillas. I'm in heaven.
No, I can wrap breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm wrapping.
By the way, I have the same problem. That's why I love it here so much. So super fresh fish. We talked about the breakfast, which I love so much. And here's another thing, by the way. I'm also a fan of duck. I kind of grew up. To coin the phrase, the first great food experience that I had in Mexico many, many years ago was like roasted duck. And it's the same thing, slow roasted duck that you put inside a little warm tortilla. It's nothing more really, and it had maybe some little bit of red onion. You would squeeze a little bit of lime in.
Right.
Maybe a drop of cilantro. Right. But so that was outstanding for me. But here's the thing that I was also turned on to at the time. Reposado tequila.
Right.
And I'm going back 20 years, but that's fine. And the tequila was served alongside sangrita.
Perfect.
And I have become a super fan of sangrita. Can you explain to people?
It's like a tomato base.
Yep.
The ideal recipe for me is a beer, a nice cold Corona Modelos or Pacifico.
Right.
A tequila chaser on the side and the sangrita.
Oh, okay. Hey.
That's the 360 circle.
That's good. Well,
and some people have their different recipes for the sangrita. Tomato, clamato,
right.
A little bit of spice, a little bit of Tabasco. It's got to have a little bit of
a little bit of punch to it. I love it so much. I love eating here. I love drinking here. And congratulations to you, because this is a beautiful part of the world. And both of these kind of hotels, whether you're talking about the Four Seasons or the St. Regis, are very easy for me to recommend. And also, by the way, Carl, I think we should tell people what I kind of didn't realize when I came down, that this is Punta Mita, this community here, this area here, this 1,500 acres, is also a place where you can come and rent, I guess, like a home or a casita, whatever you want to call it. Talk about that just a second.
We have 380 homes here of different sizes. So that's also a beautiful, wonderful luxury experience. You can rent a 3-bedroom villa, 3-bedroom condo, come with breakfast, access to the 4 beach clubs. So it's another good family experience. Similar yet different, but you live the experience in the same environment that you do. You can go to the hotels. So there's a little bit for everybody. There's houses with 3 bedrooms up to houses, those mega ones, the houses of the stars, like with 12 bedrooms, and they don't need to go anywhere, but there's plenty of those as well. So it's a bit there for everybody.
Well, when you say everybody, it reminds me that I hear kids in the background, so I know that there are going to be family things, but I was excited to discover yesterday the adult pool. Right. Just because it's chill over there. There's not kids running around, which matters. So in other words, you could come with the family, or you can come with your significant other, and still find on these kind of vast grounds privacy and your own thing without feeling like you're impeded on or interrupted in any way. There's privacy, there's romance, and there's deliciousness. Well, anything that we should add? What's the easiest way for people to find out about this part of the world?
Just hop onto www.puntamita.com and you'll see everything there. Then just come on down and have a nice cold margarita, beer, ceviche, and some tacos, and you'll love it down here.
Life is good. Thank you, Carl Emberson. Appreciate you being on with us today.
Cheers, mate. All the best, everybody. Have a good one.
Well, there you have it, my chat with Carl. Great guy. You heard the accent. He knows what he's talking about. The man has been in the hotel hospitality business for his whole career. And as you heard him say, 12 countries. This is a lovely setup they got down there. I want to tell you before our time runs out in 5 minutes that one of the other activities that I enjoyed was I went with one of the chefs, and you can do this too, to the local fish market, and we picked up fish together. And then brought it back and cooked it together in the kitchen, in one of the hotel kitchens. So this is one of those things where it's like you go, you know what, I want to go, let me go with the chef. And we're going to go pick up some fresh fish that we choose, and then we're going to bring it back to the hotel and cook it together. I'm going to learn how to cook. I learned how to make, we went to the market and I was kind of like, I see what you're doing. Get the fish, great, but can we get some of the shrimp too? And the reason I was excited to pick up the shrimp, right, is because up there it's fresh. It's not frozen. In other words, it's coming in from northern Mexico, right? So their shrimp are fresh. You can't on the East Coast, really, honestly, unless it's being shipped overnight from the Japanese tsukiji, from the fish market. You're not getting fresh fish here. Shrimp, they're frozen. So it was a treat for me to see, and I know they're good. The shrimp they got there are great. So we bring it back to the hotel kitchen, and she makes with it, what you do with shrimp, she makes an aguachile. Now, what is aguachile? Chili water. There's no real water in it, to be honest with you, but it's much like a ceviche, except that literally the lime juice mixed with some onion and some jalapeno and a little touch of salt and some cilantro. It literally kind of cooks, if you will, the shrimp. Now, there's a technical term for it. I think it's probably like denaturization. The point is that it sits longer. Ceviche you want to eat quickly. Now. I want it now. I want it fresh. I want it just like this. However, on the aguachile, you let it sit for 15, 20 minutes, and you'll see that the shrimp actually, while it's kind of soaking in this blended up mixture of marinade that you made, right? It changes color a little bit, and that's when you know, like, okay, it's 20 minutes. I can see it's pink on one side. Let's eat it. It's fantastic. And then finally, I'll tell you, here's the other thing. As a guy that likes to not tour, but travel, I want to see other parts of the world. There's some lovely little towns to go to off-site, as we would say. There's a place called San Francisco. The locals call it San Pancho. It's a very small little village. You'll see the occasional, art shop or gallery shop, and there's the 5 and 10 cent store, and then there's a little place on the street that looks like it's going to be good to eat. It's just charming and small and easy. And then there's a little boutique hotel, Cielo Rojo, where you go in, you have a beautiful, in the courtyard, organic breakfast. That was fantastic. There's a polo, what is it? Patron. I'm sorry that I can't tell you the name right now. It'll be in the article, but there's a polo club there. So if you're in the area on a Sunday, you can go watch a polo match over brunch. There's a beach club over in San Pancho. There's a beach club that's fabulous, architectural design, award-winning, lovely food on the ocean, a pool as long as any that I have seen. And this takes about it takes 20 minutes to get there, 25 minutes from the hotel. And then on the way back, you could also go into that Sayulita I mentioned, a little bit more, let's say, developed for the tourists. I mean, you're going to find college kids there, you know what I mean? So, like I said, you have kids. Sayulita is fun and funky for the parents. The beach is, you could surf on the beach. You could sit on there and have something to eat on the beach. There's a lot of action going on. There's a gallery. There's some beautiful street food. Nothing wrong with Sayulita. And as you heard Carl mention, right outside the gates of Punta Mita is the little town called Punta de Mita. Where you can also, if you want to just even, bike or golf cart, I think, across the highway. Restaurant here, a lobster taco over there. You're also sitting on the water. I think you're sitting on the bay, Banderas Bay, whatever. Beautiful, lovely, cute, Sure, that one's a little more touristy because it was built, But anyway, what's the difference? The point of my story in our closing minutes is that I like it. I recommend it. Everything about it is good, and when I write the article, I will point you to it so you can see in more detail about the experience that I had. With that, my friends, I will be back with you next Wednesday. My guest will be, let me just tell you her name. She is a doctor. She's a psychologist. I'll be back next week with Dr. Doreen Dodgen McGee, psychiatrist. She says, put down your phone and cook. Hello, baby. And until then, remember, life is short. So never waste a meal.
I'm the Teflon Pan Man. I'm the Teflon Pan Man. Ain't nothing gonna stick on